Welcome. Today we will discuss Veera Ganapati. Veera Ganapati is a Ganapati, a form of Ganapati, who is the lord of both Mercury and Ketu. Mercury and Ketu are friends. Mercury is the Adhipati for Sumukham or being amicable, amiable, things like that. And Ketu is the one with knowledge. So when these things go together, when Ketu and Mercury go together, there are two things that can happen. The knowledge of Ketu can aid in the rescue of friction. Likewise, Ketu can also enhance Mercury's ability to argue. Mercury does not argue, it nuances, it understands and it nuances. I mean, you can speak, you can argue vehemently, or you can put forth points and which are not easily refutable, and you can go from there. Mercury is such a thing. I mean, it is the owner of Mithuna, which is the house of language and documentation. And it is also the owner of Kanya, which is the owner for art. And so poetry and things like that, poetry, music, and so on. So these are all higher forms of language. So being the lord of such a couple of houses, he possesses immense power to argue, not vehemently argue, but to put forth the argument in a very tactical manner. So that is Mercury. Lord Veera Ganapati, the power of Lord Ganapati in his supreme is Veera Ganapati, and that is required when there is friction. Rahu is defined by Agrim Dhutam Vrunimaha Iha Uttaram Vishwavedhasam. So Agnim Dhutam, meaning he will blow up any kind of Agni or fire. Fire is Mars, and when Rahu comes in contact with Mars, Rahu uses all his skill to expand Mars. So Mars, such a Mars, being an enemy of Mercury, when it hits Mercury in somebody's native horoscope, Sumukham dies. That is, the ability of Mercury to nuance or to oil. Mercury stands for oil. Oiling of gears, for instance, right? When you put too much pressure and when you have rusted, extremely sharp things coming together in gears, let's say, right? The Mercury aspect of it, which is the oiling aspect of it, is required. If it's not there, it will burn out. So this is what is going on, and that is where you will require the full power of Mercury. Mars is a very territorial being. So we know Echana Sarma Saprata Aha. So you have to bow down in front of Mars. Yatcha Anati Sharma, it will protect you. Saprata, it will even extend its courtesy. Whatever small things you do, it is fine with it. I mean, you have seen it in Discovery Channel. The lion fights with another lion. The aggressor, when he lies down and shows his underbelly, right? This first one lets it go because you have done anati, you have bent over, right? So, and there is also a bullfight, a type of bullfight where a bunch of people in Germany, they get together and then they form a line, and there are two opposite corners and there's a raging bull in the center, right? All these 11 people have to get to the other side, and those guys have to come to this side as well. So that's the race. So what do? When the bull starts figuring out you're moving, it looks at you and then it comes after you. The first person in the line basically bends completely down. Everybody bends down, anati, and then it doesn't know what to do. It does not harm you. I mean, it just stays in its tracks, right? So, yaccha anati tad sharma, yachanas sharma, saprata. That is, after that, once you have bent down, it is fine. Even if you do a small bit of, raise a small bit of issue or skirmish or whatever, then you will be pardoned. Saprata is okay. They will handle it. The leader, once proclaimed, will hug you and bring you under his protection, his or her protection. After that, even the small things are forgiven. That is Mars. Now, Mars is very territorial. You know that 1, 2, 3 where you stand in the Olympics, right? The one, I mean, you have to stand on top of the one. That's why these people are like going neck to neck, beating, trying to get the last 1/100th of a second to be there, right? To be the first. That 1 or 2 or 3, that matters, right? For Mars people, for sports people, they are like that. So now, what does that do? That creates a lot of friction. Now, Mercury is not like that. Mercury uses his knowledge, and when Ketu is around, it is empowered with knowledge, because Ketu's knowledge doesn't force you to do anything good or bad. I mean, it is inert knowledge. So you can easily take it and you can make an argument towards the left or make an argument towards the right. Either way, I mean, you can nuance around it, which is great with Mercury, right? Mercury has that ability. So now, what is going on when Mars, you have Rahu, Agnim Dhutam Vrinamaha, you eat a lot, right? What do you eat? You eat something that is fodder, you eat something that is oil. When you have really a problem with the gears, you're going to run out of oil real fast, right? I mean, you're not smooth with each other, right? You're not machined properly or whatever. Then Mars, the gears versus gears, comes together and it ruins whom? It doesn't ruin itself, it ruins the oil. Rahu, the principle of Rahu, which increases the stuff, goes under the table and then increases the stuff. Agnim dhutam vrinimaha iha uttaharam vishwavedhasam. So here is an example. Here is an example meaning Rahu has to put his hands up first. In the schools, when the teacher asks you, Rahu has to stand as an example. He's got to stand up first and say, yes, I know the answer to this, right? Not eager beaver. This is really like a, what do you say? This is like a proposition where they will lose their identity or something. I mean, they put their hands up because they know it. They prepare for it early on and so on, right? Just to have their hands up first. That's Rahu, example. Vishwa Vedhasam is, Vedhasa means to put the world under your, the flesh under the thumb, right? So, complete control. You want to control everybody, control freak, right? So, Vishwa Vedhasam, the whole world, to put the whole world under that is Rahu, right? It goes very well with Mars, because Mars and Rahu are friends in the sense Mars will fight and Rahu will be the undercurrent and give the motivation for this, right? Now, when this happens, who gets really ruined? It is Mercury, right? So why do we pray Veera Ganapati? Ganapati can bring solace in two ways. One thing is Rahu has to be with Mars or touch Mars, right? Only then Mars gets inflamed. Now Mars can go ahead and hit Mercury. Normally Mercury knows how to handle it, right? When Rahu Mars put together, you've got not just you don't have simply anger. So there are different degrees of anger. So the second part, the higher part would be krodham. Krodha is cruelty. You've got anger, okay. Mars has a reason to be angry if you put your head up, right? You're the raging bull right there, and then you put your head up and it's gonna face you. It's gonna come towards you, right? That is because Mars is territorial. Right, fine. But if you put your head down, Mars is going to stop there, and then you have put your head down, so it's going to give you that protection, right? But not with Rahu. Rahu inflames Mars to the extent of krodha. Krodha means cruelty, extreme cruelty, right? When extreme cruelty hits Mercury in the body, let's say, right? In the body, wherever there is Mercury, the oil nature of the body, the fluidity or the ease. I mean, if you oil a machine, it runs really well, right? Smooth. That smooth nature is gone. Where is this smooth nature gone? I mean, it burns. Rahu Mars, of course, burns muscles, right? Because you're blowing it out of proportion, right? The krodha is like that. But then when the gel nature or the fluidy nature of the supple movement goes off, then the movement is really affected, where it looks like as though the machine needs oiling, right? Now what does Veera Ganapati do? He has the ability to exchange Ketu with Rahu, right? Rahu and Ketu are always exchangeable. At least for a brief moment, they're exchangeable. Now, if that happens, Ketu is the inert principle. When that goes towards Mars, let's say Mars is being hit by Rahu, aspected by Rahu. Rahu has a fifth aspect. So when Ketu goes there, it does not aspect it because Ketu has only a ninth aspect. It doesn't look at Mars. Okay, good. Now, if Rahu and Mars were together, then Ketu goes next to Mars. Veera Ganapati blesses you with that. And then Ketu is the inert principle, so it puts out any fire, right? It does not, there's no Agnim Dhutam, right? There is a Rahitam, there is a reduction of anger, right? So Ketu needs to act in favor of whom? In favor of Mercury, meaning Mars is hitting Mercury, right? There, you could either have Rahu situated with Mercury, or Rahu situated with Mars, or Rahu aspecting Mars. There are three different possibilities, right? Or Rahu aspecting Mercury directly. So there's a source, there's a target. You could either hit the Rahu could either hit the target, or it could hit the source, and then inflame, right? Mars to go and hit Mercury. So in all these cases, if Rahu is interchanged with Ketu, Ketu will not hit. Ketu, when it hits Mercury, great. I mean, it will not hit because if Rahu hits Mercury, then Ketu will not be able to hit Mercury because it's got the ninth aspect and the direction is different. Now, if Rahu is with Mars, Ketu will go there and it'll reduce or it'll put out the flame that Mars has. The anger is lost, right? So for anger management, right, this Veera Ganapati is really important. In essence, he is also the oil, the much needed amicability, amiability, friendship, right? Ami, right? He needs to bless to get this ami factor in, amicable, amiable nature, oil nature in, emollient nature, so that the friction is lost and Mercury is saved. Mercury is the one that's keep being hit in this particular dosha, right? So we will go more and we'll take a couple of case studies and then go and study them and see what should have been done by whom towards Veera Ganapati to save in what kind of predicament. So we had this, so we have the Veera Ganapati in his full form, 16 hands with the various implements, the weapons that he uses, Pasha, Angusha, the goad and the pullback, those, and then, so we have another standing Ganapati in Airavateshwara temple in Darasuram. He stands there and with 4 hands, right? I have it's such a beautiful Ganesha that I had to show him here. Now let's go to the first case that we are looking at. Now this person was born some time ago. So this person has, if you notice, has Veera Ganapati. So there is a parivardhana, there is a wheel between Mars and Jupiter. So when Mars comes down, it assumes the form of Jupiter. That is parivardhana. And what happens is Jupiter is retrograde, just edging into Vrichika Sthanam. So Mars, when it comes there, it creates a lot of bleeding. There is anemia in this person, right? And if you notice, because of its retrograde nature, it hits with Rahu, it hits Sun as well as Mercury in Mesha, from Vrichika, Mesha, right? You notice that there on the right side. The right side is gotten out of just rotating the parivardhanais from the left, right? These are all possibilities, correct? Now, the next slide, we show the same thing. Rahu Mars from Vrichika Sthanam, correct? It hits Mercury and Sun at the top. You notice on the Dosham list you have Sarveswara. Sarveswara, this person is a very prominent person. And Mars and Rahu hitting Sun is not going to defeat Sun that easily, because Sun is very powerful there. Sun is actually Rahu. Sun is extremely, it is exalted in Mesha or Aries at the top. Now, Mercury on the other hand is very near debilitation. It is not powerful at all. And when Rahu Mars hits Mercury, you're definitely going to have problems with Mercury there. So you notice Sarabeswara, the power during Lagnam time is about 0.032 on the right side. Whereas if you look at Veera Ganapati, 5.791. That is 1.5 times 100, right? There's 150 times more than Sarabeswara. So this is what is going on in this person. So what is going on if you look at this person's star? This person's star is Uttram, and Uttram star is very close to 27 degrees 43 minutes, which is very close to 28 degrees, which is very close to 30 degrees. So there is also the moon aspect in Kanya. Uttram also has 3 padams in Kanya, so it will go there as well. So now, where is this dosham stemming from? You notice there are 2 positions for the star. So which means the distance of 4 or distance of 3. 4 and 3 can't be elder sister, mother and mother's brother. I mean, gender problems, right? So it has to be some sort of a colleague, and it has to be a person who's a little older, right? So that person hits is a cause of Krodam. Krodam means Rahu Mars, right? Mars is very powerful in Vrichika Sthana because it's own house, right? The house of arrows, the house of scorpion, the poison of the scorpion, house of needle, house of bullets, all that stuff. And since Senatipati is the one that uses all of these, right? So right there. So if you look at Mars animals, they have to charge at you, and there is one bang when a horn gets into you or whatever, and then life changes, right? So it is all in an instant, right? Vidyut Kanti. We know Mars is Vidyut Kanti, the strike of a lightning, the power of a lightning, the Kanti meaning the light, the force, the kind of the nature of how it surfaces is like a lightning. So Vidyut Kanti, obviously if a snake bites you, it's not doing it in slow motion, just hits you and it's milliseconds, you are infected. That's it. Now that kind of a Krodam is showing up in the 4th house and the 3rd house, right? I will go back to the previous picture where you will see the moon dropping down on the right side. So there are two possibilities, right? Now, what is the significance of Mercury? Where is this hit happening? So if you look at Uttram Simharasi, this is happening in the ninth house. Bhagyam, house of luck, right? House of luck. Now, what is wrong with house of luck? No problem. I mean, a little unlucky, blah, blah, that's fine. But look at the one below, I mean, on the right side, when Uttaram Kanya Rashi, right? What happens there? The hit actually happens on the 8th house. 8th house meaning Ayush. Ayush becomes a problem. So when there is Veera Ganapati, this person has to be really worried about Ayush, right? So first of all, we need to figure out that there is an issue with this person's oily nature, meaning this person is pretty roughed up. I mean, if you look at ego, for instance, because Mesha Rasi looks at ego, right? So this person is a little very egoistic, very territorial, all that stuff. Is there some kind of a nuancing? Is there some kind of oil over there to help other people? Blah, blah, blah. No, this person was not like that. Now, other doshams I'll have to explain in different videos, but look at Sarabeswara, which is basically Rahu Mars hitting Sun. Sun stands for celebrity status, king, ruling authority. So this person has not only Mercury or amiability as a problem, also has celebrity status, celebrity nature, ruling power, everything is gone, right? Rahu Mars is basically infuriating, and there's Krodha, right? Cruelty rather. Now we go there and then we look at, now we say, okay, Veera Ganapati shows a high number. Let's go look at doshams, right? So we go to the doshams and then we figure out it's right on top. This person has Veera Ganapati. So what happened? Somebody of the nature, elder sister or a colleague, right? Elder colleague, let's say, right? That nature, that person has a lot of anger towards this person. So what did it do? It went and hit 8th and 9th. 8th and 9th would mean Ayush and luck. So that's dangerous because you don't want to incur anything from somebody, like in terms of cruelty or krodha or whatever. But that's what happened to this person, right? Now, we have looked at it, we have read through the Veera Ganapati. It says, yeah, it's pretty bad. Veera Ganapati shows up right on top and it shows the target to be Mesha, which is the head, right? Territory, everything is gone. Territory gone, ruling power gone, everything, right? Now, what happens is when we go, next thing we have to go is, when is this person getting affected by this, right? You notice there were two doshams there. One was Sarabeswara dosham, which I will merely explain here, saying Rahu Mars hits Sun, right? Ruling power is gone, right? And then in depth we looked at what happens with Mercury, the oil stuff. Both of these are together. One dosham, another dosham, doesn't matter, they're together. Sun and Mercury are together. Basically, Sun and Mercury being together would be Buddha Aditya. Okay, but that requires Sun to be a beneficial person, which is, if she says she is Uttra Nakshatram Simharasi, then Sun would have been beneficial, and the hit would not have been in Ayush 8th, it would have been in 9th, right? Little bad luck, but worshipping Sun would have taken it out, and maybe a lot of oil massage, things like that, would have made this person much better and brought back whatever the Sun would have given her, which is a owner of the self being in exalted state in the 9th house would mean bring a lot of luck, bring a lot of good health for the person, right? A very celebrity oriented life. But guess what happened? It did not happen. I mean, the person, it happens, I happen to know that this person got while they prayed to be Simharasi, there was some alternate elements here that pushed her to uh, Kanya Rashi, and that forced the person to suffer with Ayush. Take a look at the Dasha Bhukti, right? So if you notice, the period that's being flagged is about July, mid July 2018, where inside Rahu there is Mars Rahu, there is Rahu, Jupiter, Saturn, that's fine, but Rahu, and inside Rahu there is Sun. And where this is Sarveswara, typical Sarveswara. I mean, the Mahadasa that's running is Saturn, but this is what it is. I have made a larger picture of it. Take a look at the date, mid July, right? So Sarveswara. Now, what happens on that day? Let's go look at Kala. So, I mean, this is how we have done it before for Ananda Mangalam. We're going to do it again here. So, we go in there, we put in the date around mid July. Initially, I mean, it doesn't show up, right? I mean, you show Mars, Ketu on Mars, and Mars, there's a conjunction of Ketu and Mars, which means Mars is actually dead, I mean, nearly, because Ketu is inert element and all that. And then Moon is in Mercury's house, and Mercury is in Moon's house with Sun, right? But on the right side, it shows an intersection of Sarveswara and Veeraganapati, right? And Dakshinamurti, there are other doshams, but Sarveswara and Veeraganapati. So how? So let's look at the Parivardhana possibilities. I've changed the slide. Take a look at the left. You will see Rahu with Mars. Ketu comes towards Moon, towards Kataka, and then Moon has taken Parivardhana with Mercury. Now, if you notice, Sun and Mercury are together. This is how it was for this person before. Rahu Mars, Mars is retrograde, so Mars uses -8 to go and hit at Mercury, right, in Gemini, right? And Sun is there, so there is both Sarveswara and Veeraganapati right there, and that is how we get it. And on the right side, you will see the Parivardhana here showing how Sarveswara and Veeraganapati are there for this person, right? This is a dangerous moment, and the person could not survive through this. Now, you notice how this happened to be the Krodam, or the person who initiates this, happens to be elsewhere, right? This person did not initiate the Krodam. The Krodam was initiated by a fourth, third house combination, right? And fourth is elder sister, third is younger sister or colleague or friend, or, you know, there is a description in IQ Astro. You can go and look at it, look at the whole thing. I'm not going to show you this. I mean, we can't delve too deeply into this person, right? This person actually passed away. How could anybody with this kind of Krodam on the self, or Ayush or something, how can they escape, right? Now, there are methods. Now, look at this case. I'm going to go really fast with this case. This is a doctor, a PhD friend of mine. So, has the same thing. Forget about the Ketu hitting there. Now, in Parivardhana, Rahu comes to Simha. If you look at the top, there is Sun and Mercury and Mars in conjunction, right? Sun in Mesha is Rahu himself, meaning Sun gets extremely, to give you the English term, drinks own Kool-Aid, like drinks Kool-Aid of the self. I mean, intoxicated with power, right? And if you look at Sun, the description of Sun says that during this moment of intoxication, right? Hiranyayena sa vitaratena adeva aya dhibhuvana avipasyan. It says, during this period of intoxication, right, an unchaste woman comes along and begets a child who is Rahu. So Simhika comes and then gets Rahu out of sun. Asatyena rajasa vartamano niveshayan amritam artyancha. So there is, I will explain to you how this person puts herself in the current and then gets Rahu. I mean, how this explains the biology of twins and so on. I mean, there's a lot of things going on here. I mean, about birth and how there are 1,000 eggs that come out, and how 500 of them, 500 periods are predicted for a woman, and that's 41 years and so on. There is a lot of biology behind it, and because Surya, Aditya, is the giver of the boon of children, there's a lot to be explained here. But I will tell you just this for now, that sun can be in intoxication in all of Ashwini. When you're born in the star Ashwini, I mean, you're not born in the star Ashwini, you're born with sun in Ashwini. There's a lot of ego, extreme amounts of ego, and extreme amount of intoxication of power. And what happens, that itself is Rahu, and right there, Mars is there to kill Mercury. If you notice, that's what is showing on the Mesha, right? Ketu could have an effect, but Ketu could be, okay, what happens? So, Mula Nakshatram, right? You put ninth Rahu instead of ninth Ketu, this happens. Who is going to hold Rahu in the ninth? Now, ninth Rahu has a special meaning, which means a Pitur is holding Bhagyam, right? Dhama Grivasu Avichartyam, it says in Rahu's Sukta. Dhamam is luck, Dhamam is tube. Wherever there is a tube, right? Whether it is in this person, it's in Leo, there is a sphincter there, there's a valve, and that valve is being held inactive. Whether it is ST1, and whether it is stuck at 1 or stuck at 0, which means stuck closed or stuck open all the time. If you have that in the duodenal valve, this person is going to get a lot of acidity. If it's esophageal valve, you're going to get a lot of esophageal pain. And then if you go down and you have duodenal valve, you're going to have acid leaking out, and then you're going to have colon getting distressed with a lot of acid, right? And again, the alkali matter from islet of Langerhans will not be as effective. So this is that. So who's holding it? Piturs are holding it. So would you place this person? I mean, of course, this person was born during eclipse where, there's an eclipse that happened in August and the shadow went from south to north. All that Ketu is fine. But the Piturs have the power to resituate Rahu and Ketu, which is called Hemaprastham. They do that, and then they hold this person's someplace hostage. Now, when that happens, what happens? We know the dosham is there. We'll go to dosham, we'll figure out, and then we will say, okay, Veera Ganapati. Now we come straight to what would happen? Where would this dosham be active on this person? We come to the date is pointed here, 14th June 2020. Now, what would happen on 14th June 2020? There will be a problem with Mercury. Unless you have propitiated Ganapati, you will have a problem. If you propitiate Ganapati, Ketu would be in the right place. You will not have this problem. There will be enough oil around the thing. But where is this situated? Mesha, in the house of territory. Okay, in the house of learning. For this person, it is the 5th house, so house of learning. So territory, learning, territory among learned people is a PhD's entire goal in life, to get recognition for one's medicine. This person is an extreme scientist who has found a great medicine which also solved COVID-19. I mean, it could resolve, and it could defeat COVID-19. Right? What happened on this date? Now let's go to the Kala. As we noticed, we always go there to Kala to figure out. On the left there is 15th of June. Around then what happens is Mars just went from Aquarius to Pisces, and it starts hitting Mercury. The Veera Ganapati starts. We see Veera Ganapati on the left. We see Veera Ganapati on the right. Okay. So where is this happening? This is happening on the seventh house. This person's work, right? This person's spouse, this person's focus, right? Work, basically. Now, what should happen? Kasturba Hospital letter, which says that his medicine solved COVID 19, right? Took 30 people, 22 people became negative in 4 days. That's all it needed. Now, there was a letter sent to Donald Trump, everything, but this letter is a very crucial letter for this person. You notice when you go back to Dasha Bhukti, you notice that this is the most active period, right? I mean, it shows this particular date, fine date there for him. Now, how did that happen? You saw the letter. Now, you notice these 5 elements. These 5 elements, this person contributed to making silver, Kreedam, and everything for Ganesha. There you go. In the temple, the main deity with the left ear, right ear, and Siddhi, his consort crown, and then his crown, and there is a smaller original deity. Yes, this is the deity from Besan Nagar Varasiddhi Vinayaka temple. Yeah, where this person did this. When was this done? This was done around November 2017. It was commissioned then. By the time it got completed, it was February or March. March of 18, this got done, right? Around this time. And then, of course, there were other things that were done. So, it doesn't show up. The Dasha Bhukti says, at the right time, the Bhagavan will come and, give you solace. That's what happened. 2020 is where it shows. This is when COVID happened and everybody needs to use this medicine, and this person, his fight was for getting the accreditation, getting certification for his medicine, well patented medicine which has been there for the last 5 years. He finally got a letter in which they appreciated him for his medicine and its effectiveness, which has never happened before. Everybody buys it, everybody does this, but it would defeat COVID 19. And there it is. It's a vitamin D kind of medicine. Obviously, the person studied vitamin D. Sun is exalted in the 5th house, in the house of education. So, vitamin D. And now, this is an active form of vitamin D which has 28, 29 carbon chains. It is more effective than sunlight, sitting in sunlight, right? So, it's a very virulent medicine, but it's being sold as a nutraceutical because you can get it off the counter, right? But this person was looking for somebody to say, here is the proof that your medicine is a great medicine, right? And that happened on that specific date. Okay, this is how powerful Veera Ganapati is. If you don't, stuff happens. If you do, if you give the right, I'm not saying you should propitiate like this. However you can, you should propitiate Veera Ganapati if you have a problem with this dosha. So I will finish with this. If you have any questions, put it in comments and I will respond as soon as I can. Thank you.